Title: Still With You.
Part 1. The Train Station. The train was late. Again. Maya sat on the cold bench, headphones in, scarf wrapped tight. It was one of those gray November mornings when everything felt like a faded photograph. That's when he sat next to her. Not across the platform. Not a few seats down. Next to her. He had a book in his hand, headphones too, and a quiet presence, like he belonged there, even though she'd never seen him before. After 5 minutes of silence, he spoke. "Which train are you waiting for?" She hesitated. "The 8:41. To Brighton." He smiled. "Me too." And for the next 20 minutes, they waited. Together. Without knowing each other's names. Just two strangers, caught in the same delay. Part 2. Missed Connections. After that morning, Maya looked for him. Every day. And sometimes, he was there. They never exchanged numbers. Never even introduced themselves. But over time they became something. He started bringing an extra coffee. She started saving him a spot. They talked about books, about old films, about how life sometimes felt like a novel with no clear plot. But one day, he didn't show up. Not that week. Not the next. Maya sat alone, coffee in hand, wondering why a stranger's absence could feel so heavy. She didn't even know his name. Part 3. Found in a bookstore. Spring came. Maya stopped waiting at the station. She began walking to work instead, through the park, past the little bookstore on Elm Street. One rainy afternoon, something pulled her inside. She wandered between poetry and travel books, and then she saw him. Bent over a shelf, same jacket, same quiet energy. Holding a copy of the same book he had that first day. Their eyes met. And neither of them spoke for a second. Then he smiled, like nothing had changed. "I lost my job," he said. "Stopped commuting." "I thought maybe you disappeared," she whispered. "I didn't want to." Not that week. Not the next. Maya sat alone, coffee in hand, wondering why a stranger's absence could feel so heavy. She didn't even know his name. Part 4. Saying yes. They didn't waste time after that. He was Alex. She was Maya. They started meeting outside the bookstore. Then for late-night walks. Then on Sundays that felt like home. One evening, as they walked by the train station where it all began, Alex stopped. He pulled a small paper from his coat pocket. It was an old train ticket, from the day they met. "I kept this," he said, "because something about that morning felt like the start of something." Maya smiled, her eyes glassy. "It was," she said, stepping closer. "It was the start of us." Part 5. The Window Seat. 3 years later. The small apartment above the bookstore smelled like coffee and rain. Maya sat by the window, legs tucked beneath her, watching the city wake up. The morning train rumbled in the distance. Alex entered the room, still half asleep, 2 mugs in hand, hers with cinnamon, just the way she liked it. "I had a dream about the station," he said, handing her the cup. Maya smiled. "The bench." He nodded. "You were there. Headphones in. Cold November air. Just like before." She leaned her head on his shoulder. Funny how that bench became the start of everything. They sat in silence, watching the world outside move, slow, steady, familiar. Then Alex stood, walked to the bookshelf, and returned with a small notebook. "What's that?" Maya asked, curious. He handed it to her. Inside were pages of letters, written over the years. All addressed to her. Some dated from before they were even together. To the girl who always waits for the train. To the woman who feels like home, even when everything else is noise. To Maya, who I'd wait through 100 late trains for. Her breath caught. Her fingers trembled. And on the last page, just 2 words, in his careful handwriting. "Marry me." She looked up, heart full, eyes wet with wonder. "Yes," she whispered, the same way she had years ago, not at a proposal, but at a beginning. And just like that, their story kept going. Maya smiled, her eyes glassy. "It was," she said, stepping closer. "It was the start of us." The end.